Hey guys, it's your girl Leslie and welcome to my channel.
Come with me and you'll be in the world.
Well, hey guys, it's me again, and today we're gonna go ahead and read chapter 6 of Vigilante Deku, Parent Problems. So guys, I might not be reading the clown story anymore because one, it's not interesting. To me, it's like not interesting. It started interesting, then it started to get disinteresting, and barely people even watch it. So I might just stop it completely because one, I'm not interested in it, and two, it just goes really boring, you know. But if you guys still want to read the story, there is a link in the video where I read the story in the description of like the story link. So yeah, so I might not read that anymore because it's just not interesting to me, and I've been reading way better books, you know. It's not like the author's bad at writing or anything. I'm just saying that they could improve a little bit, you know. A little bit of criticism, may I say. But they still write the book pretty good. It's just I'm not really interested. I actually wanted Laughing Jack to become a hero, and there was a story that I was planning on reading you guys, but the freaking author has not updated it in like so freaking long that I feel like they discontinued it. So you guys let me know if you are writing any Laughing Jack BHMA stories, like basically where Laughing Jack, this character on the screen right now, is in BHMA. It honestly would be rather interesting to see how he would act to the world. And I feel like he would want to be like, hey, what if I become the opposite of what I am? You know what I mean? So, yeah. I was just letting you guys know. If you have any, please put a link in the freaking comments down below. Or send me it, please. I'm dying. My social medias are in the description, by the way. If you guys want to send a link of your story or another story related to it to me, please. Anyways, continuing. Parent problems. Seriously? Yamada whined as he grabbed Aizawa's arm. He could be dead, and it would be all my fault. Hitachi, can't you go find him on your own? You're the only one who has been actively able to seek him out. Yamada sank into his chair, rubbing his head. He could be bleeding out in a ditch and we wouldn't even know. Wow, what's gotten your hair in a knot? Kamiya snickered as she sat down on the couch in the teacher's lounge, sinking into it as she laughed at Yamada's distress. Izuki saved my life and now he's bleeding out somewhere, Yamada yelled, his statement finally getting a reaction out of the rest of the teachers that thought Yamada's attitude was his regular melodramatics. Shut up, please. You're my only hope. Fine. Only if he doesn't make an appearance after a week, Aizawa huffed. No, he was not concerned for the vigilante. He just wanted to get his annoying friend off his back. Can't you give him a thumb? Didn't he give you a thumb drive or something? I have no idea how he even managed to slip it into my pocket. Yamada threw his hands in the air. It's like he's here. Then he's not. And suddenly, there's a thumb drive in my pocket. How? Ooh, new scoop. What's in it? Kamiya asked. More pictures and coordinates of possible mini hideouts the villains use. A few guesses on the actual locations of the main hideout, and some places to avoid on patrols unless we're in groups. Yamada shrugged. Nezu said he'll send us the details later. We'll look into it later. The entrance exams are in a week, and after that, we get around 2 months when we don't have to be in school, which we should be able to deal with these villains by then, Aizawa sighed. And maybe we should patrol in pairs just in case something happens, like what happened with Hitachi. You said they targeted you? Mm-hmm. Said their initial was right, and their boss was gonna reward them. Yelled at Izuki for stealing their info. Yamada nodded. Maybe Azuki's working for them? Snipe asked. It's a suggestion. I mean no harm. But as much as you hate to admit it... Okay, sorry guys, I got lost the track. It's a suggestion, I mean no harm. As much as you hate to admit it, Aizawa, you're fond of the little green kid. Aizawa hissed into his scarf, and Yamada protested, No way! He took a hit for me! The scorpion guy also looked like he was having fun maining him. Wait, wasn't there some poison thingy written on the scorpion's powers or something? Numero, can you bring him up? On it, she chirped, typing and bringing out a digital folder about said villain. Named Scorpio, small-time villain who mugs people and paralyzes people. It said here that the larger the wound, the faster the whatever takes effect. Kamiya didn't get to read more before Yamada burst into a very even more crazy frenzy, yelling at almost every single hero that patrolled to keep an eye out for Izuki before Aizawa groaned and wrapped the voice hero into his capture weapon and stuffing him in a closet. You know, I think we should wear trackers. Ectoplasm said. Our phones are connected to the school system, but since they also broadcast our locations to other heroes, they can be hacked if somehow these villains got... Sorry guys, my dad interrupted me. Ugh. Okay, anyways, continuing. Okay, if we have trackers, maybe like in our shoes or clothes, then even if we're caught, there's no way they can get rid of all of our trackers. That's assuming the villains don't have something to jam signals. If I were a villain, that's the first thing I'll worry about, Aizawa grumbled. But that's a good idea. I'll talk to Nezu about it. You know, I realize how dumb your vigilante name is. Izu. Shinso said as he dumped his bag on the ground. I know. Heh. Midoriya gave a small smile when the guy asked. I literally didn't have a name in mind. I just thought swap the letters and bam, Izuki. The vigilante was wearing his torn green hoodie that he barely managed to patch up, and one of Shinso's old t-shirts that fits the smaller boy's frame perfectly. The bloody shirt that Midoriya was originally wearing had been trashed long ago. Yep, smartest guy I know. Somehow lives somewhere unknown and can take down the big bad villains, but can't think of a good vigilante name. Shinso rolled his eyes. Says you? It took you 4 days to figure that out. Midoriya grinned. Midoriya had been staying with Shinso for 4 days, and Shinso absolutely loved coming home to spend time with him. For the first time in his life, Shinso felt loved, appreciated, and even it was from a vigilante who had absolutely no sense of self-preservation and was complete nut job and a goofball at times. Suddenly, there was a loud yell, and Shinso immediately tensed up. Shit. He cursed. They'll be gone. They said they'll be gone for a week. Izu, you need to go. Shinso's tone was filled with urgency and fear that Midoriya had never heard before in his friend's voice. Toshi, I'm not leaving you here with them alone. Midoriya grinned as the door swung open. You brat. Why aren't you helping us with the... Who the hell are you? A man with equally purple wild hair growled at him, while a man with a woman with long brown hair looked at the two boys from behind the man. Ooh, nice to see you. I'm Shinso's friend from school. Midoriya gave a cute grin to Shinso's parents and gestured for him to usher his parents into the living room while he got the luggages. It's nice to see Shinso making friends, the man managed to say. But do you aware of his quirk? His villainous and not say Midoriya's entire aura changed. At first, he seemed like a perfectly normal teenager hanging out with a friend, but now he seemed downright murderous, and his grin seemed to even be more creepy than cute. Now, I'm perfectly aware of Toshi's quirk, and I do not understand why you say it's villainous. After all, it's up to him to decide how to use it, no? The entire house fell silent. Midoriya's grin seemed to get even more scary by the second, before launching it into a lengthy lecture about the usage of quirks and how to not judge other people, especially their own son. By whatever quirk they have, that means to rival that of Nezu's. Oh dear, look at the time. That's so weird. Midoriya glanced at the clock on the wall. I better get going now. But if you ever say anything bad about Toshi, or even lay a finger on him, the threat remained unspoken, but his parents got the message. Good. Bye, Toshi. See you at school tomorrow. UA exams are in a week. Midoriya grinned, exiting the house. Y'all, can we take a minute to clap? Because Midoriya, he best boy now. In this story, he's best boy. Honestly. This is best boy, y'all. Y'all should be grateful. Oh my god, I'm so glad. Karma boy. Continuing. Hey old hag. Bakugo yelled once he got home. Do you think Izuku could still be alive? What? Katsuki, please. I know you still feel guilty about Izuku's death, but it's been 7 years. Inko died in a fire, and Hitachi is nowhere to be found. Mitsuku tried to reason. Why would he have to die? He did nothing wrong. The only thing people think is wrong with him is that he doesn't have a quirk, and it's not even his fault, Bakugo yelled. Mitsuku slowly sat beside Bakugo as he continued his tirade. I asked everyone, even Aunt Inko. They all said that Deku would amount to nothing because he's quirkless. Katsuki, what happened? It's not like you to explode like this for no reason. Mitsuku was unusually calm, but she knew that both of them exploding wouldn't help her son and his conflicting feelings. A few days ago, Izuku saved me, and he looks similar to Deku, that I can't help but wonder if they're the same person, Bogo replied, clenching his fist. Both he and Midoriya wanted to be heroes, but ever since Midoriya was declared quirkless, Bakugo could never decide between wanting Midoriya to be a hero to wanting to protect him. Bakugo was more like a brother that Midoriya looked up to, a bond that was even stronger than friendship, given that the boys had known each other since birth. Bakugo had always felt guilty for Midoriya's death. He took it as not being able to protect Midoriya well enough, that he felt in his duty to save someone close to him. Aunt Inko was so weird. She yelled at me that Deku was useless in a hopeless case, and I shouldn't give up on him. Bakugo growled, his hands letting out miniature explosions. Why can't she see that Deku was smart? He could probably think of 1,000 ways to get past being quirkless in his little analysis notebooks. Tears that had been holding back for 7 years finally broke free of whatever he had on them, and they rolled down his cheeks and onto the floor. Deku stopped crying so much, and he stopped crying altogether. He said his mom said that crying is a sign of weakness. He turned to Mitsuki. Mom, am I weak? Okay, that's the sad part. Anyways, continuing. Izuki pulled up his mask as the villain was stalking through a smoke bomb at him. His wound was throbbing mildly, but it was more of an annoyance than a hydrant to him. He quickly dodged a punch as the villain accelerated, kicking him in the gut and drop-kicking him to the floor. Izuki immediately tied him up and was about to leave, about to haul him to a police station when his phone started vibrating. Shinso knew better than to text him at night, so who the heck was texting him? Eraser, where are you? President Mick is being very annoying right now. Eraser, this is President Mick. Are you okay? Can you please reply? Are you alive right now? Now, are you hurt, dying somewhere? Gibberish. Eraser, can you stop him? Eraser, are you okay? Eraser, he keeps stealing my phone. Izuki just blinked at the series of messages he was receiving. President Mick was worried about him? Oh yeah, he had seen him get slashed across the chest by the dumb scorpion. He quickly took a picture of the downed villain with his fingers in a victory sign and sent it to Eraserhead along with a message, I'm fine. Immediately, his phone started ringing Izuki picked it up. You're alive? Are you hurt? Where are you? Give me my phone back. No, Shota, I need to make sure he's okay. He literally sent a picture. You're not dead, right? He sent a picture, Hitachi. Oi, what the heck is going on here? Izuki just was dumbfounded. As I raised her head and President Mick seemed to be fighting over the phone, and a female voice, maybe Midnight, was joining in on the conversation. President Mick cared about him? A technically not vigilante? He wished his parents cared about him as much as those heroes did. He didn't realize that he said that aloud, and that the 3 or maybe more heroes had heard him. Sorry, gotta go, bye. He shrieked into the phone and ended the call. Izuki found the villain. He had just been beat him up, staring at him in confusion. What are you looking at? He yelled at the villain and knocked him out again, embarrassed that he accidentally said it over the phone. Aizawa, Kaguya, and Yamada stared at the phone in confusion. They heard Izuki mumble out something incoherent before immediately screeching out an apology and ending the call. Can Snipe, whatever, Ectoplasm and 13 stared at the trio in confusion. Nezu just grinned at the Sentimus as he sat on Sentimus' shoulder. He's alive! Yamada cheered, hugging Kaguya and Aizawa. The later trying his best not to kick his friend in the gut and tie him up with his capture weapon. Senpai, is he okay? 13 asked. This idiot over here? Aizawa grumbled out as he pushed Yamada off of him. Yamada is an idiot and he will never be okay. Shota, you wounded me. I thought we were best friends. Yamada wailed, clutching Aizawa's arm. Said to the person, didn't even react, and and made no move to even remove the arm that was latching onto him like a leash. Nezu looked at his phone that somehow had, for no reason, and said, President Mick, it seems like Power Loader finished some stuff for me. Would you mind going over to pick them up? Gotcha, Yamada yelled, probably running out of the staff room. Can you trace the call? Ectoplasm asked. Nope, whatever Izuki did, I can't trace his phone or the number. Aizawa shook his head. I tried before. He's either really good at hacking or he knows how to use VPNs or some GPS version of it or something. I don't even know the details. Even though the development studio was quite a fair distance away from the teacher's lounge, with Yamada's long legs and the fact that he was running meant that Yamada actually made it back really quickly. He shoved open the door, carrying a huge box, and said something in his hand. Hitachi, just what are you doing? Aizawa deadpanned as Yamada stuck something on his nose. Trackers. Power Loader made a huge bunch of them. Yamada yelled, covering his jacket with them. Jeez, Hitachi, don't go overboard. Kamiya laughed at her over-enthusiastic friend as she grabbed a few. Ay. Oh god, I lost track. Fudge. Sorry, guys. I thought there was like something else. Thought I saw something else. Sorry, y'all. Continuing. Ay. Let's see. Laughed at her over-enthusiastic friend as she grabbed a few, tossing them to Snipe and Amishima. Idiot. Don't take all the trackers, Aizawa hissed, snatching the box away from the voice hero before he could resume sticking trackers on himself like a maniac. Okay, y'all, I hope you enjoyed this chapter because this took me literally 12 minutes to read, which is surprising. I thought this would take me 20 minutes. But let me go ahead and glue my nail and I'll be back. Okay, yeah, guys, I'm back, and yes, my nail did break during this, so I have to glue it back on. Okay, well, I just did, so. Anyways, continuing. Entrance exam, chapter 6. Toshi! Midoriya grinned, patting Shinso on the shoulder as he walked into UA. Izu, don't you have, like, other stuff to be doing? Shinso asked, turning towards the smaller boy. Midoriya was wearing a huge blue hoodie, and even though it seemed like a really small thing to change, not wearing so much green completely changed how people viewed the smaller boy. Now he just looked like Shinso's little brother instead of some crazy suicidal vigilante. His hood was up, hiding the smaller boy's face from view as he jumped around like a little kid on a sugar high. Nah, well, maybe later. I usually keep an eye on the UA checks exams. Those robots are bound to kill some poor examinee one day, and I'm pretty sure Recovery Girl's powers don't cover resurrection, Midoriya grumbled, stuffing his hands inside his pockets. Okay. Shinso had to region and a bark of laughter at the pouting face the vigilante made. He didn't notice that he tripped over a loose brick on the road, and Midoriya's eyes widened as he realized that Shinso was about to bust his nose on the ground. He had instincts, sure, but those were some things for like villains, not rocks on the ground. Suddenly, Shinso stopped falling and was hovering just above the ground, an inch just above the ground. Sorry for using my quirk on you without permission, but it's bad luck to fall. A girl with brown hair grinned, setting Shinso back upright before running into the examination hall. Go on, don't let me distract you. I'm rooting for you. Midoriya grinned, patting Shinso on the back once more before running off to who knows where. And don't trip again. You seriously think it's a good idea to hide a checker inside of you, Ken? Ishama asked as he eyed the cameras on the grounds where the students would be going for their practical exams. I think it's possible. Hiding it inside his body would make it impossible to find, Kamiya pointed out, unless they dissect you. Aizawa said. He was lucky Yamada was busy with writing the written papers before having to explain the practical exam to other examinees. So he was free from the noisy hero for the next hour or two. Yeah, I might ask Recovery Girl about it. Yamada can make also a smaller version that I can control with my quirk, Ken muttered, pretending to ignore what Aizawa had said. What if they use quirk canceling cuffs? It's not like the cuffs are transmission proofing or something. It's just a work, unless they electrocute the hell out of you, or like Aizawa said, they dissect you and find it. Weird name shrugged, but do we know what they're after? Yagi asked. We don't know any concrete information. I've done some research around as well. At first, it seemed like they were just kidnapping those with powerful quirks, but there's also a decent number of people with recovery quirks or strength and speed enhancing quirks missing. My best guess is they're trying to brainwash them to make an army, but that wouldn't explain why they're killing heroes. Maybe because the heroes aren't cooperative or something? Aizawa grunted. Wait, killing heroes? I didn't know anything about that. Yagi scratched his head, his eyes widening with concern. If it wasn't made public, well, more like we didn't find any bodies. Nezu spoke up. We have plenty information from a vigilante. I never heard of a vigilante who is willing to communicate with heroes directly, Yagi mused. Which one is it? The green one, Aizawa mumbled. Wait, what? Yagi frowned, trying to think what Aizawa meant. The small green hoodie boy that had been seen bravely fend off the slime villain from the young blonde kid that came. Oh my gosh, I keep messing up. Why? From the young blonde kid came into mind. The one with the green hoodie, mask, and goggles. You need to be more specific than that. All Might is new here. You need to be... Okay, why do I mess up now? God, why? Sorry, guys. Anyways, you need to be more specific than that. All Might is new here, so he obviously doesn't know what you mean when you say that. Khan rolled his eyes before realizing that Yagi did seem to know which vigilante as I was referring to. Wait. Yeah, you got the right one. All Might, you know him? Not really. I met him once when he was trying to save a student called Bakugo from the slime villain I was chasing. All Might replied. When the vigilante left, the student yelled Azuku or something. Aizawa turned towards the number one hero, eyes narrowing. The name Azuku rang a bell, and honestly, he wouldn't believe that the vigilante would swap 2 letters in his name and call it his vigilante name. The boy was too smart for that, right? Shh, the entrance exams are starting. Snipe hushed them, turning towards the monitors. Midoriya sat on top of the tallest building, surveying the area known as Ground Beta. He had already changed out of his blue hoodie and changed into a spar green hoodie and donned the rest of his equipment that made him a Zuki. The semi-destroyed industrial building seemed to be pulled out of something most whatever. Though it wasn't very run down. Broken chunks of cement and plaster lay on the ground, and Midoriya kept an eye on a few robots that he could see. Honestly, though, robots? Midoriya hated it, since it meant that mental quirks like Shinso's weren't very effective, yeah. He did hope that he had trained Shinso well enough to be able to take out a handful of those metal critters. He carefully peered past the main gate, surveying the examinees who were going to take the test in a particular facility. Usually, Midoriya would hop between the different facilities, but this year he decided just to stick around on Ground Beta to keep an eye on Shinso. He noted Shinso was there, taking in deep breaths in a dark blue hoodie and a dark blue-haired examinee who looked way too similar to Ida Tensei for it to be a coincidence, tapped on his goggles a few times, slowly rotating the lenses until he managed to get a clear zoom up to look at the Enginium look-alike with glasses. He had engines in his legs instead of his arms. And Midoriya took note that the boy was probably Tensei's younger brother, huh? Maybe he would confirm it in the next visited Hosu, or when he happened to meet the blue-haired boy. No one else seemed to catch his eye, except for a weird redhead boy who seemed way too over-enthusiastic, and the girl who had her fingers together, trying to take deep breaths, the one that helped Shinso just a minute ago. With the way she held her hands and seeing what happened when she used her quirk on Shinso, he was going to put it down as some touch-activating gravity or telekinesis quirk. He honestly liked that the girl was willing to help Shinso for absolutely no reason. She was going to keep an eye on her and mentally added her to the list of people he genuinely liked, including Eraserhead, President Mick, Shinso, Enginium, Nezu, and Bakugo. The redhead was noisy, though. The younger presumed Ida was scolding him, probably for making a ruckus and disturbing other people. Midoriya found his robotic arm swinging hilarious, and kept an eye out for the redhead's reaction. Surprisingly, he didn't seem so offended, and was even apologizing for his antics. Midoriya liked him as well. 2 more names added to the mental of people I like list. And go! What are you waiting for? Examining 2234 has the right idea. There's no countdowns in real fights. Run, run, run. The die has been cast. President Mick's voice rang throughout the area. Midoriya grinned. Shinso had already charged ahead, taking Midoriya's advice and trying to take a small advantage by starting once he could. Hesitation would get him killed in his profession. Heroes have to engage as soon as possible to minimize damage and casualties. Midoriya carefully kept an eye on the 4 examinees as he carefully hopped around rooftop to rooftop, all the while avoiding the cameras. The cameras were hard to notice when you weren't aware of them, but once you knew about them, they were as obvious as a punch in the face, assuming the face had nerves and you could feel. Midoriya mentally amended. The girl was using her quirk to lift robots in the air and release them, using their own weight to destroy them. Smart. She did look slightly nauseous, though. The redhead was doing well, and upon closer inspection, he seemed to have some sort of hardening quirk that allowed him to cleave through the robotic enemies with ease. Not a flashy quirk, but it's definitely versatile. Midoriya wondered if his quirk affected his density. The engine boy was using his quirk to increase the power of his kicks, kicking the robots into bits. He definitely seemed to know what he was doing. But if he was really Anita, and Midoriya thought he was, his entire family were pro heroes based on engines, so it was natural for him to pick up a few tricks here and there. Shinso was doing pretty well, considering that he couldn't use his quirk. He had picked up a metal rod from somewhere in the wreckage and was destroying robots left and right. Midoriya grinned to himself. He was glad to have first taught Shinso how to use a bow staff, since it was one of more of the versatile weapons out there, and Shinso was absolutely wrecking the hell out of those robots. Suddenly, an alarm blared, and a humongous robot emerged out of the ground. A cry of pain caught his attention, and immediately honed in to their source. The girl. She had been trapped when the robot emerged, a huge slab of concrete pressing down on her against the ground. Midoriya groaned. Whose idea was it to have these giant robots in the first place that would be a hazard to everyone taking place in the entrance exam? Nezu? Surely the principal wasn't that insane and sadistic, right? Even he had to know the limits of Recovery Girl's powers. Redhead and Glass had immediately turned tail and ran off along with the rest of the examinees. Midoriya was about to jump in when he noticed Shinso stopped running, looked around, before running back to the girl, trying to pry off the concrete block off her. Hey, you're gonna get crushed, the redhead boy yelled. Then help me. I'm not gonna leave her like this, Shinso yelled back. Surprisingly, the red boy had a yell. Helping others is so manly. And rushed over to Shinso's side. His hardening arm, and he hardened his arm and heaved the block up, letting Shinso drag her out from under it. It was obvious that she wouldn't be able to walk if blood was pooling out of her legs and the broken rebar stick out of any indication. Shit, Shinso cursed, realizing just how close the robot had gotten. He hastily picked the girl up and started to run away from the robot, the red-haired boy following suit. They wouldn't make it in time. The robot would crush them, or more specifically, Shinso and the girl. The redhead wasn't weighed down by anyone and was able to make it far distance from the robot. Midoriya added metal to the hips of his shoes and increased the amount of damage to his kicks. He seriously doubted that a metal enchanting kick would do anything, given that the size of the giant metal robot that was crushing buildings like paper. Unsheathing his knife, Midoriya leaped off the building he was on and landed on the robot's arm. He quickly made it towards the robot's neck and plunged his knife in and severing all the wires. The robot groaned to a stop, creaking precariously as its source of power was forcefully cut off. Midoriya didn't know if the robot would remain still or fall. He opted to get the 2 examinees out of danger. Midoriya quickly scooped up the girl from Shinso's grasp and yelled, "Come on! Kid, the robot isn't going to stay like that forever. His connection to his students should stay private." He didn't want to ruin Shinso's chances of getting into UA. Immediately nodding, Shinso followed Midoriya back to the group, and President Mick's voice echoed, "And time's up." Setting the girl down, Midoriya quickly inspected her leg. Her leg was broken, and he was sure Recovery Girl could heal it. But the broken rebar was the problem. He would have to remove it, and he wasn't sure things like this were included in the Youth for Heroism's resume. I'm going to remove the middle, Miss Raka Chaco. She hissed out. Her eyes were unfocused in pain. The blood loss must have gotten to her head. She shouldn't reveal her name to random strangers, regardless if she had saved her or not. Alright, just hold still. He grabbed the metal rib bar and was about to pull it out before he was interrupted by the loud noise behind him. Excuse me, I understand you saved her. But what are you doing, hurting another examinee? It was the glasses boy. Looking for Raka, it was Midoriya who was tending to her. If any other person, glasses would have startled them and might have accidentally made the injury worse. Midoriya had sensed the engine boy coming up to him and was already half expecting him to speak up about something or other. Well, I could understand it isn't your attention. You could have startled me and caused more pain to your fellow examinee. Midoriya spoke with an emotionless tone, turning to the blue-haired boy before turning to Raka. I'm going to remove it on the count of 3. After counting, Midoriya carefully yanked out the rib bar out cleanly as Raka clenched her fist tight and yelped. He carefully took a roll of bandages out of his pouch and wrapped her leg up. Here, there, Midoriya said, gently placing Raka on the ground and stood up. Recovery Girl should be here soon, and she'll fix the rest. Recovery Girl? Who's that? A voice piped up. You don't know Recovery Girl? The school's nurse? Youthful hero? The one that gives you a kiss and saps your stamina to increase your body's natural healing process? Midoriya was confused. Recovery Girl's presence was that unknown? Was it? Sure, she wasn't a flashy hero, but surely she was known, right? I'm surprised. Most people think my quirk is just healing with no resurrections. The hero grinned as she made her way up to Raka, giving her a kiss to the forehead. It's going to take most of her stamina to heal her leg. After a small rest, she should be good to go. Thank you. But Raka muttered. Before Midoriya grinned, though no one could see it behind his mask. Suddenly a loud sound was heard as the giant zero-pointer exploded. Most heavier of metal landed away from the group. But a few smaller shrapnels were sent firing at the day students. Shit, Ken cursed. Recovery Girl's there. She could get hit, and none of the other students were expecting it to happen. Wait, was that Izuki? Kamiya squeaked, getting a better look in the camera. Was he there the whole time? Probably avoiding the cameras, Nezu smiled. Those co-workers could tell that even the principal was not expecting the robot to blow up for no reason, and intentionally putting the school nurse in danger. President Mick, check out the situation now. He ordered over the intercoms. Majima had already run off to fix the battle facility. Ida didn't know why the guy had saved Raka was familiar. He definitely hadn't met him before, so he had to be someone in the news. But he looked like a teenager, a young adult if he was stretching it. And he couldn't recall any heroes that donned a hoodie. He might have been a villain, but he did save Raka, so Ida was pretty confident he wasn't a villain. He yelped as a piece of sharpener was sent flying in his face. With no time to react, all he could do was close his eyes and hope that it didn't hit anything vital. Upon realizing he wasn't hit with anything, he slowly opened his eyes. The guy who had saved Raka was standing in front of him, a metal piece piercing his arm. He turned around, and Ida realized he had another piece lodged in his shoulder and in his stomach. And he was also holding another piece in his hand, like he had caught it. Blood leaked out of his wounds as he moved, flowing along with the metal and dripping on the ground. Wow, what's with the things exploding and getting metal stuck in me? The guy gave a small chuckle and stopped upon realizing nobody found his quip funny. Are you guys okay? The guy started removing the metal shards from his body, not even making a sound as he dropped the bloody shards on the ground. Ada realized Izuki, the vigilante that has a quirk that no one knows about. Pain tolerance, maybe. Or healing. I was rude to you, and yet you protected me? Why? Ida started out. I mean, you were just concerned for someone else and had no problems with making your opinion known. The vigilante shrugged. staining his hoodie red. I was just concerned that if it wasn't me, you might have startled the person and made her wounds worse. I already knew you were behind me and expecting to say something. Ada had a decent amount of respect for the vigilante, recalling that Tensei once mentioned that the vigilante had helped him out in catching some villain group that he was having problems beating on his own. Now seeing for himself just how willing Izuki was to protect others, his respect for the vigilante increased 10 times, bruh. Tenfold. I'm sorry and thank you. Ida bowed till his body was 180 degrees to the ground. Are you okay? Shinji asked, already making her way towards the bloodied boy. Everyone else seems fine. Also, thank you for protecting us. I'm all good. Midoriya poked the wound in his gut. Well, I'm lucky. It didn't hit anything vital. That doesn't mean you should poke it, you idiot. Shinso Shinso had to try very hard to not bury his friend to slash mentor right then and there. Whoa! Hi, Izuki! Yamada grinned as he jumped down behind the vigilante, sandwiching Midoriya between the examinees and himself. Nice to see you are not dead yet. I'm glad I'm not dead too. Well, we're all good. See ya! Midoriya grinned under his mask, tossing something at Yamada's face as he ran towards the building. He jumped, grabbed onto a ledge, and hauled himself up. His injuries were howling in protest, but Midoriya ignored them as he continued clambering allegedly against the wall, using whatever he could as a foothold. Yamada caught whatever Midoriya had thrown at him, and turned his attention to Midoriya as he finally made it up to the top of the building and disappearing from view. He glanced at the item in his hand, another thumb drive. The entire facility was filled with silence until one redhead exclaimed, "That was so manly! We know that's all Kirishima, bro!" Oh my god, it's already 35 minutes? Lord baby Jesus, let's hurry up and finish. Oh my god! At least we're going through another long chapter, yay. Stupid problem child. Aizawa groaned. He could have done literally anything else besides using his body as a human shield. You sound like you want to adopt him, Shota. Kayama grinned at him. Aizawa shot her a look, but the female hero just smirked back. Like? Ken asked, using his quirk. Ectoplasm suggested. If he uses his quirk, then he would technically become a vigilante. We label him as a vigilante since he's fighting crimes without a hero license. But he keeps insisting that he hasn't used a quirk at all. We can't arrest him. He made that very clear on our first meeting, and frankly speaking, he's right. Aizawa mumbled. What if his quirk is like Nezu's, an intelligence quirk that technically can't be switched off? Snipe asked. We can't literally blame him for that. Isn't there this invisible girl, Hakone Toru, or imitation quirks? Can't really blame those. As I was, whatever that person name is, said, oh look, he's running away with those injuries. Recovery girl's gonna kill him if she meets him. Nezu laughed at the tension bled out of his shoulders, seeing as Izuki seemed fine to continue being cheeky. He personally liked the vigilante and wanted to meet the boy face to face and have a nice long chat. The boy seemed intelligent enough to find the loophole in the quirk laws and to avoid police and heroes for so long, and being able to invade Eraserhead with no small feat. Plus, he was giving them information that saved them a lot of time digging. Is he a get-go? Kame asked. And can we arrest him for trespassing? He saved a few students, though, and if he didn't trespass, we might have to deal with the media of at least 2 dead children. Aizawa shot an annoyed look at Nezu, and if the principal noticed, he didn't seem to care. Aizawa made it sound like the media was an annoyance, but Nezu knew he was concerned about the students' well-being. He was a big softie, even though he pretended to be a children hater and expelled kids from the hero course. He still broke the law, Kon pointed out. We're letting, a few thousand students into the school. All school rules is just also just said no trespassing on regular school days. He's basically authorized to enter if the school gates let him in. Nezu was smiling. The vigilante had exploited another loophole. And Nezu did know that the vigilante has knocked into the school for the past few entrance exams and had saved the students from robots quite a few times already. This is just the first time he had to deal with the Zero Pointer, and Nezu was quite frankly impressed how he dealt with the situation. He definitely wanted to meet Izuki. So yeah, that's as much as I'm going to read because we're already like 38 minutes. Anyways, that was a very, I'm not even, okay, now we're to the top. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Y'all, I suffered through this because I kept messing up on literally like 3 or 4 letters. Like, for real. That was annoying. My lord. Why? But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more of these videos, guys. And yeah, pretty much that's it. Anyways, bye and peace.